What's up, you guys? You're tuned into an all-new episode of Point of View. Happy Friday!
Yes.
As you can see, Janiyah is gone for the day, but we have Adriana.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome. Hi, ladies. You look beautiful today.
You look beautiful.
Friday, honey.
Yes.
I'm happy. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you
Girl,
so
I can't
much.
wait to hear your POV.
Oh, I can't wait to talk. I'm ready. Okay.
Well, you guys, do you guys think you know anything about credit or buying a house? Did you guys learn this in school?
No.
No?
No.
Well, when transitioning into adulthood, we realized that we have responsibilities that aren't taught in the school system. Things like buying a house, maintaining your credit. Well, this next story is more common than you think. A daughter calls the police on her mom for stealing her credit profile. Take a look at this.
So what's more important to you? Your credit or your mother?
I should not have to choose between the two. You said the last time you wasn't gonna do it again, and then here we are. And you know nothing, man. Now you messing stuff up. You messing stuff up for my future. I can't even get a house. I can't even go to college. You keep messing up my life. I don't want to be here with you. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to be here with you. Why are you doing this to me? Why can't you just let me have my life?
It's the why are you doing this for me? She was so gaslighting her daughter.
Oh
So
my
it's a rumor that this is
God.
actually a skit, but this actually happens.
In real life.
In real life.
Every
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Every day.
It's really sad. Like, imagine like you grow up and you're an adult and you can't do the things that you think that you should be able to do at that age, but you can't because your parent messed up your credit. Oh
That is
my
wild.
God.
That is gnarly.
I would be so upset with my mother. And then as an adult, you're still taking advantage of my credit in my name?
That is crazy. And
I
then
would
calling
be-
me crazy because I'm mad.
I would be so furious. And then she's like, oh, you need to choose between me, who's more important, your mother or your credit?
And I think,
Are you serious?
I think that's a big thing in our community as well because some of our parents think we owe them because they
Right.
gave us life. I brought you in, I can take you
I
out.
hate that.
Well, you're gonna take me out with bad credit because the U.S. system is based off of credit. So if I wake up
Literally.
at 18, can't get a car, can't get anything, now you just stop our generational wealth in our
Right.
family being irresponsible. Now if my mom put my name in the credit and she's paying it off,
Right.
and then I turn 18, I got an 800 credit score.
Exactly.
That's a different thing, but
Yeah.
sometimes that doesn't happen. So I
Right.
think the daughter not wrong. I'm sorry.
I don't think so either.
I think the mom is wrong 100%.
I feel like low key the mom.
Let me find out you one of those moms.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say.
No. I don't need my kids' credit, baby. I don't even know.
Right.
I don't need my kids' credit at all. But I came from a time where, my mom was a single parent. She had 4 children. She was doing it on her own, newly divorced when we were young. And so she did the best that she could. So at one point, she had got maybe like a T-Mobile line in my name. And it was for everybody to have a phone, baby, except for me. I didn't get a phone because I was in trouble, even though it was my
Right.
credit. You know what I'm saying? But I never looked at it that way or had a problem with it. I remember like when we were younger, my mom put us in like acting and modeling classes, and she had to pay for that every week. And I remember like doing little commercials and things and never seeing the check, but I wasn't mad because I know my mom would pay for that stuff. You know?
Right.
So I guess it's like different for me because my mom raised us as a team, as a complete unit, and family first. So when there were times where she needed stuff, we were there, and
Yeah.
and vice versa. Now she's here for us, and it's always been that way. So I would never sue my mom for something that can be fixed. And I do think now, even though that is common, there are a lot of parents that are being a little bit more conscious, and they are putting their kids in better situations. They're putting properties in their names, titles, and things like that, and it does give these kids fresh out of high school a better start in life,
In
which is
cases
what I
like
plan
those,
to do.
yeah, it helps their children. But in other cases where, I get it, like I'm
People are
using.
taking advantage.
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
I get it. Like, in the parent, they're really doing it for their kid. They're really doing it to have a better life, and they probably don't have the resources to be able to maybe get a car. Well, you probably can't get a car under a kid's name, but something as simple as like a phone bill or like putting the electricity under your kid. I get the intention behind it, but you have to make sure you make it right at the end of the
Right.
day.
Or you're
Yeah.
keeping up with it.
Because you were trying to do it to help your kid, but at the end of the day, you didn't help your kid. You hurt them even more. You know,
Right.
you just did
Right.
something to band-aid the situation.
Right.
But you got to heal it too.
It seems like a repeated pattern. It's not like how you said your mom was responsible doing
Yeah.
it. She's just doing it. It could be like an Ulta credit card. It could be a JCPenney's credit card. Like, those are not needed credit
Exactly.
cards,
Right.
If mom was saying, I'm buying a family compound or a car, like she mentioned, well, I had to take care of you and your brother. You have to help me out. Well, that's her brother, that's not her son. But I think if it's communication there to, like you said, put the family in a better situation as a whole, I understand. But you know, back in the day, they had those Scared Straight programs. I think I would have called my homeboy at the police station, like, can you just knock on the door and scare my mama? You gotta teach people a lesson sometimes because you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that financial literacy where they're doing it responsibly. And I think this was the
Exactly.
case where daughter was fed up. I mean, I'm not bold enough to call the police on my mama, but I will scare
Right.
her if I have to. But
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think I would sue my mom or send her to jail or anything if she did that to me, but I certainly would be very upset for sure. But I think it kind of sucks how they really don't teach this stuff in school.
Right.
Like they don't teach credit like in school. They don't teach, you know, saving money, the processes of buying a house. This is something that you're basically kind of expected to figure out the second you turn 18, you know?
Right.
And like some people unfortunately find out the hard way, some people find out the easy way, some people are a little bit more responsible, I don't know, I just feel like there's like such an educational gap when it comes to like the transition between kid and adult. Like, I don't know, I had to figure it out on my own.
For us, my mom, she did what she had to do to raise us. You know, she got a house for us. She did, you know, all of these things. But at some point, it was a strain. And so she didn't really have that financial literacy. And so I remember, like, when I went away to college my freshman year, I'm in Atlanta, and Macy's is offering me a $2,500 gift card. I did not know, I mean, not gift card, credit card.
Right.
I did not know I had to pay that back. Like,
Exactly.
legit.
Wow.
Even when I got it, I didn't ever, like, read it. I just signed it, and
thought
I'm
it was
like,
free money.
I'm thinking this is like
They're
just
financial
giving out
aid
free
or
money.
something.
Me too. And that happens the most in college. Because they just throw money, $50,000. And I had people in college sign up for $50,000 when a semester only requires $2,000.
Wow.
And they drop out. Or I even had classmates who were sending money back home for their parents to pay bills
yes.
with something that was supposed to be financial aid. So it's a lot of stuff that we should have
It
learned.
was financial aid for
It-
families.
Right, for families, right? And then now like, oh my God, 30 years later, I'm still paying on a student loan and I don't have the job, I don't have the degree. So that's definitely something I feel like is more important in high school than FCAT or a standardized test that we needed to take to do what with. Like,
For sure.
I'm not using algebra.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. I just think financial literacy is something that for sure should be taught in school. And on top of that, like for anyone who's out there who's in college, because you guys mentioned this briefly, college is like the credit people, they go to colleges. I promise you.
crazy
students.
Like,
Yeah.
you guys ever have those days in college where they'll have the tents up, it'll be vendors that come in and like offer
Yeah.
promotional things? That's literally like, you are a victim there. Like, you'll have all of these banks that are like, hey, you're pre-approved for this, you're pre-approved
Right.
for that. And then
Right.
you get pre-approved for $1,000 here and you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go to Ulta, now I'm gonna go to JCPenney, now I'm gonna go to Macy's. And then before you know it,
That
you're
free money tally.
Right.
They'll give you a shirt though, a little t-shirt.
They-
but-
they
A little
always
cup
give you a
holder. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know how we can set the youth up for success, but I guess maybe just start with adding it in the education system. I don't
Exactly.
understand
Yeah.
why it's not just already in
But
the
y'all know
curriculum.
they defunding the educational system right now?
getting
They
worse.
are. I don't know if y'all know about Project
They need to
2025.
defund the government.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done.
tired.
Police.
Tired.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
they
I
are.
think definitely adding it into the educational system. Hopefully, they don't defund it completely because we need those classes to actually educate the kids on credit and just being more aware of finances, period.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
For sure. And
Some kids don't even have school on Fridays anymore. Like, there's some counties who they're taking out schools for Fridays.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, our future generation is gonna be stupid.
Like how
They're gonna be dumb. These are the ones that are gonna be taking care of us when we're old, and they go to school 4 days a week. They already like aren't teaching them
They
certain
are
things.
famous on TikTok, Miriam. Leave them alone.
But low key, I feel like even TikTok, me in this low key, I feel like TikTok and social media is in a lot of ways giving us one step forward when it comes to financial information and knowledge.
Very true.
Because so many times when you're just scrolling, you'll see all these different, secret things about loans and how to
Influencers
pay your
talking
loan
about
off
it.
faster and
Yeah.
all these things or whatever. So I think that even when we're sending information to our friends, to our children, to our family members, that's some of the stuff that we really need to be saving and sending to them so that collectively we can all become a little bit more financially aware.
Yeah, I agree with it. Now, like, the information is more easily accessible, like via TikTok, via Instagram. However, goes back to discernment, you know, and just like being smart.
your own
not all,
research.
do your own
Yeah.
research. It's not all credible. TikTok is not a credible source. You know,
Right.
I do get like nowadays they're like adding little things on TikTok and Instagram videos that may have been altered by AI or may not be a credible source. But even then, sometimes I don't even trust it because sometimes the government be like sprinkling a little information here and there.
Right.
You know, and whoever picks it
And
up.
you have those people that look at TikTok, which has valuable information, but you have to make sure they're not scammers.
Period.
Right.
It's easy to look like, I can
Yeah.
easily post up next to a BMW right now and say, hey, I can show you how to get this truck, and it's not even mine. So we have these kids now that's growing up seeing TikTok and the celebrities, and it's looking easy, like, oh my God, I can post a video and go viral when it's deeper than that. So I still think the educational system is very important on top of social media, because so many people are gullible thinking like, oh, you're on TV, I can do the
Yeah.
same thing. You still need something to back you up at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
Right.
And I think that's what's missing from society right now is just all this social media stuff, but they're forgetting the basics in real life that need to be applied to real life.
Yeah.
But I'm sure us as being older, we can look at a video and know, oh, that's a skit, or that's not
Yeah.
real, or how did she
Exactly.
get this car with this
Yeah.
amount of credit? But a lot of people don't believe that, and that's why we have all these scammers who are successful at scamming.
Right.
Because so many people are falling for that. So I think that also needs to be taught in school is how to not be manipulated easily with social media.
Yeah.
And that's not even like a
Yeah,
topic
we
or a
need social media
subject.
classes for sure
Yeah,
now.
that
Yes.
needs to be in school as
All
well.
in all, you guys, just educate yourself, learn about credit, learn about, you know, financial literacy, and it can eliminate all these problems. Stop using your kids' names. But we have to cut to commercial. Don't go anywhere. You're watching POV. Welcome back, and if you're just now tuning in, you're watching POV. So I have a question. Would you guys rather be happy and poor or rich but sad?
Neither. I'd rather be rich and happy.
Well,
The new standard, ladies.
right. Well, I posted a video on social media that actually got a lot of traction where I had to choose between being happy but poor or rich but sad. And basically, I was living my best life being rich, depressed. But, you know, although this was just like a funny video and, you know, it got a lot of traction, it's actually a pretty good conversation because honestly, if it boiled down to it, which would you choose?
Oh my God.
Which one are y'all choosing? I already showed y'all what I was choosing.
I've been sad and poor. I don't want to go back. I want to be
Happy and poor.
happy and poor. I've been happy and poor, and I don't want to be happy and poor. I don't want to be poor at all.
Yeah.
I would rather be. I'm so sorry to say it. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I'd rather be rich and sad
Yeah.
I agree.
because I'll be able to fund my happiness.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
that's not the option. You can't
Yeah.
fund your happiness because
Why not?
the option is rich and
it
sad. You
for
cannot buy
life?
the happiness.
Girl, would be sad, just like Miriam, how she was getting on that yacht, sad.
I was on
she
the
had
yacht.
her margarita, she was sad. They're gonna be happy tears, baby.
Exactly. Honestly, let me see for myself. I know everybody out here saying. Everybody out here saying like, no, like it's when you're true happiness. Nah, I'm gonna see for myself, and I'll let y'all know.
Nobody wants to be happy and poor.
No,
Money solves a lot of problems.
it do.
It does solve problems.
Realistically, it really does.
I guess, okay, how about this?
Okay.
Perspective, right?
Yeah.
So think about those videos where you walk up to a person, you know, it's like $100 in the box, right?
Yeah.
And then the person's crying like, oh my God, I can finally feed my kids for the week without struggling. Then you walk up to somebody like, you know, me, and it's like, oh my God, $1,000, I'm gonna go buy me a little bag.
Yeah.
So it's like the happiness could be different for everybody.
Right.
One person may be happy to feed their kids, one person may be happy, I got extra money for a bag.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on like
So what's
the
your
amount of happiness.
version of happiness and your version of poor?
My version of poor is what I used to be.
Dang.
I don't want to
feel
go back there, but
felt that.
sometimes when you're in situations like that, it teaches you how to be happy in your situation. So I feel like I'm glad I went through the poor stage.
Yeah.
So like I know how to
What you deem
overcome
as
it.
poor.
Yeah.
What I deem as poor,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a lot of rich people who are not happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They take their lives, you know, and you wonder like you have all this money, how can you be this sad?
Right.
But that's a true thing. So I think it's a difficult question.
That is a
Yeah.
difficult
I can't really
question.
pick.
Yeah, it's situational. It depends on the person.
sure.
Because you can't really gauge poor. You know, well, you can, honestly. But, like, you know, there's levels to it. You know,
Yeah.
whereas, like, you know, rich, you know what it is? There's such a gap between poor and rich
Yeah.
that when you're rich, you're just rich. But poor, there's levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's levels. You can either be, like, literally starving, or you can just be making ends meet, and then you're still considered like by government like poor, like or below the poverty line.
yeah.
Nonetheless, happiness is also a different gauge. You know, for one person, a Louis bag and a Louis shoes and like a Louis bag, Louis
Yeah.
Vuitton shoes and a Louis bag, that's happiness for them. But for
Right.
someone else, that's not happiness. They actually want to spend time with someone who passed away.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and they would give up whatever to even have that person
Yeah.
back. You know, they could have all the money in the world. So yeah, it just really depends on the person's situation.
I
to
think
be able
it's
to answer that.
situational too.
Yeah.
I think when I think about it, I know I'm gonna like when I get home I'm gonna get eaten up for this, right? But for me, one, I think that poor is a state of mind. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I feel like it's like, you know, it's not just about where your money is, it's where your mind is, you know? But at the same time, I feel like, you know, just answering this question, not saying if I want to be poor, I would never want to be poor. I don't believe that I could be poor because I just don't have the mind state for
Right.
that. But I would prefer to be sad and
Knock on
poor.
wood.
Right. I would prefer to be happy and poor versus being rich and sad. And I think about, not always trying to take it back to the Bible, but I think about, you know, the scripture that says, what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't want everything in the world. And the same, like you said, you know, I have family members that I literally think every day as I'm enjoying my life, and I'm grateful for where my life is now, but I would give it all up to be at my grandma's house under the fan with my uncle
Yeah.
and my brother and my grandfather telling jokes, you know what I'm saying, and just enjoying each other. And at that point, I had nothing, but they were everything.
It's priceless.
I'm telling you. So the climb is you know, is good, but you know, I would rather be at the bottom with them.
Yeah.
True.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that honestly. Yeah, I mean, and I always say this sometimes, like when you feel like you've never experienced happiness, I feel like if you like, you know, give your life to God, like you will literally truly experience true happiness. I know, like obviously in this video, I was honestly really joking, but no, for real though, like I would love to be rich though. But you know, if it boiled down to it, whatever. But honestly, I still get that, you know, at the end of the day, like if you know, you were left to choose between the two,
Yeah.
I think I would honestly, if I really were to sit down and think about it, I would honestly prefer to be happy, you know, because what if rich and sad came with losing all of your family?
Right.
You know?
That's the thing. We don't know what each one entails. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, you don't know. Because, like, what if poor is poor?
Po.
No,
like,
for
what
real.
if, like, in a box, like, you poor. You don't got no shoes. You don't got no food.
But you happy.
You happy to be shoeless. You happy to be in a box.
And then they say,
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like we don't know. So it's really like that was like very vague. But I feel like for me, like I don't want to be either. Like I want
Yeah.
to be rich and
Right.
happy.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
two truths can exist,
Yep,
and
you
I will
can
be both.
Yep, I know
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, and if
And
you
some
learn
people
financial
never-
literacy,
they never
you can have
Right.
both.
Right.
Right. So if you never
Yeah.
experienced money before, some people come in this world poor and they die poor. So they're happy because they never experienced anything else. And you wonder like, well, you've been in the same projects all your life. How are you so happy? But they're content and that's their lives.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, how can we really judge them?
Yeah.
Because some people that had it all, that lost it, they lose their minds.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do I want to go through that? You know, that's hard on everybody.
And you know what's so crazy? I always go back to thinking this. You know, rappers who like be from like, you know, the gutter, they be from the hood now.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, you know, they make
get a
it and they
deal
always
and
go
they blow
back.
it.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because like that's not even like blowing it, but they always go back because that's kind of like where their heart is.
Yeah,
that's where
they're
true
safe and they feel
happiness-
loved. And yeah,
like you going back to
exactly.
your grandma's house, you know,
Yes, yeah.
it's a safe
Yeah.
place for them.
Exactly. In the long run, I think choosing, you know, being sad and rich, I think in the long run, you're going to find that it's really lonely up there too.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes.
No, I'm gonna be with all the other sad and rich people.
Y'all gonna
Right,
be sad
We're gonna be
and
sad together like Martinez with dollar bills.
A bunch of fake friends trying to find happiness.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's how
Maybe,
I
or I
think.
could just stay in the house with my cats and just
Yeah,
be
and
happily
not go to
there.
no Diddy parties.
Yeah.
Oh
No.
no,
Don't go to Diddy parties for sure. Yeah. But no, yeah, in the long run, I think it's gonna drive you to a point of mania.
I feel
You
like
know.
it depends on the person.
It
though. It really depends on the person and their situation because, like you said earlier, like it could be somebody who's never experienced that before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you've never experienced that and you have the literacy to be okay, then you'll be okay.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
like because you know what to do, you know how to manage your finances. But if you get it and you blow it, then it's just like, well,
Yeah.
you probably deserve to be poor because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, maybe like you know how you had mentioned like you because when you had asked her what's your level of poor and you're like where I used to be, you know, and I feel like sometimes again it depends on the person.
Right.
When you start out rich, like you came out with like a silver spoon in your mouth, a golden
Yeah.
spoon in your mouth, you know,
Yeah.
those people be the weird ones. Those people
They-
be the ones who be like depressed. They be
Yeah.
the weird ones. They be the ones who are like unhinged or they're like, you know, not just there. But sometimes I find the people who have started from the bottom and worked their way up, they have a level of appreciation. Like they have thicker skin, you know,
Yeah.
in a way too.
Yeah, that's so crazy too, because I was just having that discussion low-key on social media, and it goes, you know, ties back into what we were talking about first segment also. I feel like that's the issue now with these kids too, because we struggle with our parents coming up, and you know, this next generation, we want to overly give our kids. We're not
Yeah.
teaching them the same, you know, methods about how to get things, worth ethics, things like that.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I've had some kids that were commenting on this post that I had that was going viral, and I was talking about my son, you know, thinking that life is just, you know, school and football and not wanting to do dishes in the house. And they're saying, well, you know, well, we didn't ask to be here is what the kids are saying in the comments. And I'm like, man, and I commented back, I'm like, you know, what scares me is that we thugged it out with my mom, like for real. And now it taught me an appreciation for my mom too. So even as an adult, there's nothing I won't do for my mom. And what I'm telling them is what scares me is if you feel this way now and you don't want to help your mom take out the trash and dishes, you ain't gonna be trying to take care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's very true. Yeah, and I feel like I've had that too. I've had to watch my mom like make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
A woman who literally immigrated from a third world country and built something with nothing, with two girls, you know? And I have such a level of respect for her that I would give everything for her, like, you know, for her, honestly. So I resonate with what you just
Yeah.
said there.
Me too.
You know? And also even being the product sometimes, I feel like being the product of immigrants sometimes, it kind of depends on like, you know, what kind of immigrant, but being the product of non-English speaking immigrants or even an immigrant who came from a third world country, I feel like it builds your own character too, because you've heard they're teaching you life in a way where they really came from nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my mom, oh my gosh, my mom, I was telling my mom that my friend and I, we want to like go on a vacation and like they have a shower outside. And she's like, you're going somewhere that has a shower outside. I used to have to shower outside and I didn't have a choice. And you're going to pay to do that? Like,
Wow,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah. So it's like crazy. It's like gnarly thinking of like, you know, the things we value and, you know, things like that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All about perspective, how you
Yeah.
view life.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, even when it comes to choosing a career path and a Caribbean home and, you know, things like that, like, I don't know. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
it just really depends on the person.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think it does make us, you know, better people having to kind of get it out the mud. So even being a parent now, it's hard trying to figure out how do you, you know, kind of give your kids the silver spoon in a way so that they don't, you know, have to struggle like we did, but
Right.
also the struggle made us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how do you give them what you accumulated
That
and what
balance.
you learned, you know,
Yes.
from that struggle to have balance, financial literacy, appreciation, all of those things. So
Yeah.
it's rough.
I agree. Well, you guys, that is a good question to ask yourself. Would you rather be sad and poor? No, sad and rich or happy and poor? You know, you will learn a lot about yourself based off of the answer that you choose. But you guys, we are running out of time. Catch us back here Monday here at Afro TV. Bye.